Wasted
Sick of it.
potential. It could have been better than it was. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of A Beardo and a Weirdo Talk Film.
Howdy.
Star Trek
Beyond.
Beyond the Point of Existence, maybe.
Star
Idris
Trek.
Elba.
On our never-ending quest to find a good film that came out this year.
We have failed yet again. For
Although-
God's sakes, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a poor man.
God's sake, I'm just a doctor, Jim.
I'm just a doctor.
I find this very illogical.
I find it very illogical.
What does horseshit have to do with this current predicament?
Why are my eyebrows so sharp?
Anyway, let's just stop quoting the film. Matthew, how are you?
I'm fine and a little bit cold because it's winter now.
It's very cold outside. It was -4 the other night, and I work in the night, so it's even colder. You day people.
I could see how that would make it colder than it is in the day.
Anyway, any news? Any news for us? Have you got news?
Well, we just watched the super intense and long 15-second teaser for The Mummy.
Which had about actually 7 seconds of footage in it.
A lot of it was just cuts.
Hey, look, we got Tom Cruise.
Running away from stuff.
It's Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe's in it, by the way. Just BT dubs, guys. Russell Crowe's in it.
I think he's playing a Van Helsing character.
Oh.
Of course he
Well, they did want to
is.
make a big monster universe, didn't they? They want to take all the old classic monsters and put them into one universe. So, like the Mummy, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll, vampires, Dracula, that sort of stuff.
SpongeBob SquarePants. It started with that Dracula Untold, I believe, but because that was a bit of a floppy flopper.
Shit film.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
It was pretty shit, to be honest. There was potential
They
there,
keep
but
going through Dracula films like nothing, and it's just they're all shit.
they're not all shit. Some of them are really good, like that one with the guy. The one
Van
with the face.
Helsing.
Yeah, Van Helsing. One of the best films ever made. But yeah, this teaser gives us almost absolutely nothing, so it's not really worth talking about, is it? There hasn't
Apparently,
been...
in this universe, Johnny Depp plays the Invisible Man.
Oh, well, that's going to be an easy paycheck for him. Is he just going to turn up and do a funny voice?
Probably. Swagger about.
Johnny Depp doing the
Tend to be
worst
drunk.
Scottish accent in mankind's history.
Anyway, perhaps the biggest news to come out, and if you've got the app or you have it on some sort of downloadable media, is that Netflix now allows you to download films for offline playback. It's
Well,
not
they've-
really movie news, but it's quite big in the sort of streaming industry.
In the world of entertainment, I think the fact that Amazon, I think Sky and like BBC and that offer this service has really forced their hand. I'm not sure if the guys at Netflix actually wanted to do this.
I think it had something to do with their licenses. They've got certain licenses they made quite a while ago of a lot of these people.
It
they
might cost them more to do it. Or
They probably had to renegotiate a lot of it to get them to agree for offline playback.
Yeah, because I'm sure that's slightly more complicated. But
It probably is. Wouldn't be surprised if it was quite a complex thing for like quite big studios to get involved with.
it does mean that I can download stuff and then watch it on my phone on my way to work,
Whew, especially if you work underground.
making my commute slightly less unbearable.
Doctor Strange crosses $600 million worldwide. Now Marvel Universe's biggest single character intro.
Yeah, it's made more than even Iron Man, hasn't it?
Yes.
I could understand that.
It's
Like
good,
you said,
good film.
it taps into the Asian market a bit by advertising so much stuff like that, because that's what they're going for, aren't they? The Asian dollar right
And
now.
they released a couple of photos from the upcoming Power Rangers film, which
They did.
I'm just going to give a 7 out of 10 right now before I've even seen it. I'm going to risk a 7.
I want to go ahead and give it a solid 4 out of 10 because
I'm
it
gonna
looks
risk a
really, really
7
shit.
in that they might pull it off. But they released Rita Repulsa. She kind of looks like a cross-gendered Loki with Loki's staff.
Ooh, his staff. I bet she's got his staff and his balls.
And a picture of Alpha 5, which is the weird robot guy voiced by Bill Hader.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. He looks, kind of funky, like a strange sort of
Yeah.
microwave mixed with C-3PO if they had sex. But yeah, there hasn't been a great deal of film news unless...
Film news? There's not been much film news. The silence is getting quite a lot of news, or should I say they're putting out all these stories so people pay attention.
What, you mean that trailer that we ridiculed last week and said looked like garbage is actually
Yeah.
going to turn out to be the best film of the decade?
It's gonna sweep the Oscars. No, I don't know. They're saying they're gonna premiere it at the Vatican because it's based on missionaries in Japan. and they're saying
What about Doggy Style?
The two main actors basically became priests to get ready for the role.
Oh, we all know that a bit of method acting is the way forward. I think
acting.
the best example of that paying off recently is Jared Leto. He was rewarded with 6 seconds of screen time for his insane, obnoxious, and I'm sure creepy behaviour. But apparently in the extended cut, he gets almost no more screen time. So I really want to see that. I don't.
Yeah.
I lied. Is that the news section done with?
Yeah, unless I can think of anything else.
Just a little teaser, guys. We'll shortly be exhibiting our very first Q&A section, for which we've had
Yeah,
three
so we're going to do a
questions.
question and answer section at the end of this podcast. We've had a couple of questions lined up already.
I
But
thought we were going to do the questions before the main feature.
No, we'll do it at the end.
And do you want to do it at the end?
Yeah, we'll do
Oh,
it
we
at
could
the
do that.
end.
We
And
could-
if people
We
like
just
it,
throw all my notes to the side.
If people want to stick around and listen to it, then they can ask a question next week.
Oh, that's very very wise of you. Well thought out.
And if you like it that much, you can ask for it to be before the main feature.
Yes, there's so many options. You see when
See, a lot of
listening to
options,
us.
a lot of options. Anyway,
I've got to ask that magical question, Joe. What have you been watching?
this week I watched The Arrival.
Is it The Arrival or Arrival?
Arrival.
I watched The Arrival.
This week I watched Arrival. The adverts look quite good for it. It's about loads of spaceships show up and no one knows what the fuck's going on, and they send a language specialist.
Why didn't they fucking said you then? No
However,
one fucking knows.
it was poorly executed plot.
Ooh,
Very
controversial.
Sort of the story was good, and the ending was quite good in what they did. It was a bit of a mind fuck. The ending, or they tried to make it a bit like a mind fuck, but they dragged this film out so long.
Were they already dead? Was that?
No,
Did they
no,
Shyamalan?
spoilers, because you probably ain't gonna see it.
Sup, guys. I am currently incredibly fucking hungover, so I don't even know what the deal is. But basically, Joe took it upon himself and just assumed that it would be okay to spoil this film that I haven't seen yet. And if you don't want to hear the spoiler rising that he did, because he's a fucking arse twat, then if you skip to like the 10-minute mark, and then obviously you'll miss that bit because he spoiled it and just assumed it would be okay. It's obviously not okay. That's upset me quite a lot, but I can't really stop him once he's started because he's a cunt. I mean, no, it's not. I didn't mean to swear. Oh, I did. Shit. Also, I'm just gonna do a little character piece because I'm really starting to love the sound of my own voice. This is a piece I call Rorschach's Alternative Journal from The Watchmen. And yeah, here it goes. So it's going to sound pretty terrible. Rorschach's Journal, December 1st, 2016. I'm starting to think a sack with no eye holes was a bad costume choice. I know I'm tiny and ugly, but geez, it makes this crime fighting hard work. Also, the city is a dying whore, and a diet of raw canned beans gives me terrible bad breath. I always wondered why the comedian asked if I'd been eating my own shit. Yeah, I thought that was quite funny. Yeah. So yeah, crack on with the podcast and that. Yeah, peace out. Thanks. Bye.
But it turns out
spoilers called already.
the aliens show up 3,000 years before to teach them language. But if they learn the aliens' language, they also learn how to manipulate time, and the main character can see into her future. So as she learns the language just before Russia and China are about to nuke the alien spaceships, but she sees into the future at a peace banquet, and the Chinese Prime Minister comes up to her and says, "Thank you for stopping me. Here's exactly what you said to me." And then she goes back to the present time, rings up the Chinese admiral on his secret number that she got given in the future, and
Wow.
and tells him exactly what she said to him in the past, but he told her in the future. So the language teaches you how to control time, and the aliens came because in 3,000 years they'll need help, and they need mankind to know the language. It's so convoluted.
That sounds
It's
pointlessly complicated and confusing.
it's a solid 5 out of 10.
I think you explained it really well.
Amy Adams was pretty good. So was Jeremy Renner, but I don't understand why Jeremy Renner's character was in it at all, if anything.
Is it a bit like Hawkeye? Did he just appear to shoot some arrows and then?
Kind of, but it also she has flashbacks about this kid, and you think it's her kid, but then it turns out she's actually witnessing the future, and she decides to have a kid that dies of cancer when it's 13.
Oh wow, that's all very complicated and a bit.
It's fucked up.
Bizarre. Bit bizarre to me, but
yeah.
On a slightly lighter note, I yesterday saw Bad Santa 2.
Yay!
For which I am not regretful, but it was distinctly average and extremely pointless.
What did you think of Bad Santa 1?
I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favourite Christmas
I've
films.
not seen it.
Have you not seen Bad Santa 1?
No, I have to
you must watch it before we do our Christmas special episode. Yeah, it's really, really funny, the
I don't
first
think
one.
it'll get up into my Christmas specials, though.
Oh, well, it's probably not in mine, but still. But yeah, this one, it had like 5 or 6 funny bits in it, and the rest of it was a bit try-hard. It wasn't like Anchorman 2 level.
But like you,
shit,
you're quite try-hard.
I don't try hard.
You do.
Yes, I do.
You do try really hard.
I do, and it never pays off.
It never pays off.
My life has been wasted. But hey ho, what are you going to do? Such is the nature of things.
I enjoy not coming in at these moments when you've got nothing to say and have to try to figure the words out.
What, and they don't come... They never quite...
Anyway, that's 10 minutes of bullshit. Should we get on to the main feature?
One more film.
You watched something else this week?
I watched a film that came out earlier this year that I wanted to see in the cinema.
And that film was?
And unfortunately missed due to the fact that it had a very limited release.
Stop teasing us.
Hell or High Water. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, you haven't? It's one that had Chris Pine.
Don't like it.
Mr. Captain T. James Kirk.
Don't like it.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Ben Foster.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you fiddling with your cable, so stop that now. And it had Jeff Bridges as like a policeman that was after him because they're these two brothers who are robbing banks to pay back a bank. Sort of like a modern western. It was pretty good. It didn't blow my skirt up, but it was worth a watch.
You're not selling it.
Quite low key, some good little action bits. It's very much about the relationship between the two brothers.
Yeah? Gay?
There is some sodomy, yes.
Do they kiss?
But they don't really kiss, so it's more of like...
they just go straight into it.
It's more
straight
like,
down to the deed.
It's more like prison style.
No warming up.
Prison style bumming, I'd say. But
Lovely.
yeah, I think it's a film that's worth watching. And
sounds horrible.
So's your face. Shall we move on to the main feature?
Star Trek. Not before, but beyond.
Sup, Pips? It's me again. Pips, peeps, dudes, people. There's just going to be a little promo section here where we've got some more podcast adverts because I like doing that now. It's cool. So yeah, main feature will be in about 2 minutes maybe. I don't know. I might go over. Whatever.
I just realised, Tom, we got to do a promo for the Movie Source Rex podcast, and we don't have any fucking music to go with it.
We need to find a composer then, don't we?
Someone like maybe Danny Elfman.
Oh God,
how would that go?
I don't know, but I feel like you're going to tell me.
I imagine it goes something like. Bom 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 bom. Something like that. If you want to hear more stuff like this, head over to the Moviesaurus Rex podcast.
Or don't.
Or don't. It don't really fucking matter, does it? Do what you want. But yeah, maybe do. Or don't.
Please.
Please listen to us.
You're listening to a Beardo and a Weirdo talk film, but I'm assuming you already know that because you made a conscious choice to go to iTunes and download their show, or go to their website, or go to their Twitter feed, and you found them, you listened to it. And now at this specific moment, you're actually not listening to their show, you're listening to me, Chris Maynard. And the reason I'm talking right now is I want to try to get you to listen to my show. It's called Following Films, and it's a weekly podcast where I interview filmmakers, writers, directors, actors, film critics sometimes, and just talk about independent film. I had guests like Leah Thompson, Pat Healy. Recently we had Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy on. So I tend to think it's a good show, but I'm kind of biased, and if you could do me a favor and check it out, I would appreciate that greatly. If you hate it and it sucks, don't hold it against these guys. Just go to iTunes and leave me a scathing review. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
1, 2, 3.
Karate. Yeah.
Defense is my specialty.
It looks like a sturgeon.
Combat.
Back off my dick.
Sex.
Don't think I won't slap you.
The Jewish rainbow?
Want a Snickers and chill?
Mind control. Hey everyone, welcome to the Savage Podcast.
Glad to have you, motherfuckers.
Star Trek Beyond. Yeah.
The all-star cast returns. Uhuru. The Chinese one.
John
the Russian
Cho.
one.
That was Anton Yelchin.
The American one.
Anton doesn't know how to put on his handbrake, Yelchin.
Zachary Quinto.
Too soon?
A little bit. That's a bit far, isn't it?
Yeah,
Chill out.
He's a little bit. I guess.
Tweet at Matt, hashtag that's disgusting, and then unfollow him. And then follow me.
Ah. And then it had, what's his name? Simon Pegg in it, who was doing one of the worst Scottish accents I've ever heard. It's gradually got worse as the series gone on. Well done,
I
him.
didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, my God. But yeah, where would you like to begin? You could maybe try and explain the plot, because I had no fucking idea what was going on, quite frankly.
So, oh, God. I'm going to really try to keep it short. They're sent into space to help someone. They get attacked by a bee swarm, crash onto an enemy planet, find out the enemy planet wants to destroy their home base, and then have to race them back to the home base to save it.
That's pretty much it in a nutshell, shall we say.
The good thing about it is it wasn't like a world ending or something like that. They were just sort of sent on a mission. I quite like that. That's what I quite like. They would just sort of go on a mission and see what happens, which is like what the episodes were like.
Yeah, I did hear that it was supposed to be a bit more like the sort of like an old school film.
Yeah.
I mean, before we start, I would like to say that this has had like really quite a good critical reception in terms of reviews.
And I rate it. I rate it up there. It's better than... I'd probably say it's the best of the trilogy, if not tie-in with one or two. It's definitely not the worst.
That's an interesting view because I found it really quite dull, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't find it very interesting at all.
I quite liked it. I thought it was quite funny.
I don't know if I'm
Bones-
getting like Star Trek fatigue.
When they land on the island, they all get separated, and Bones and Spock spend most of this film together, and that's quite funny. They're quite funny together.
I was going to make a point, right? One of my personal highlights was the fact that Cole Urban was so funny as Bones.
Yeah.
He was. He had a lot of opportunity to.
He played the character well.
He had some progression in that, and he actually showed himself off a lot more. And then, like the past films, he's literally appeared a couple of times to say, "Oh no, that's a bad idea." That's generally what he does, and
Yeah,
he just
yeah,
says
yeah,
things are a bad idea. Bear in mind that I'm in no way like an actual old school Star Trek fan. The only Star Trek films I've seen have been like the two J.J. Abrams ones and this one, so I don't know about the lore and how the characters behave. But yeah, Urban was one of the best bits about it for me. I just think Spock looks so ridiculous. I know he's supposed to, but
He looks exactly like he did in the TV show, though.
Yeah, but this is the freaking year 2016.
Dude, he's supposed to be...
Give him like
They all look like that.
Give him an
all
emo
of his
fringe.
race look like that.
Give him some stretchers.
Oh.
A neck tattoo, maybe.
It's not logical, though.
It's not logical.
It's not logical.
You know, it'd be logical if
He
you
was
shut
great.
the fuck up.
He's great. He's great as Spock.
He doesn't really have a lot to do, though, does
For
he?
such a big role, he does fill it.
He just does a voice, though, doesn't he? I am not sure why we are doing that.
But he doesn't... It's not a hot...
No, look, we can discuss
You're
it. We're allowed to-
You're criticising him for doing the exact same things that make Spock.
Yeah, well, I'm not...
Oh, he's so dull and boring. Why can't he just be smart and clever and grow his hair long? Because it's not Spock, so he doesn't do that. Why
I'm
can't he
asking
just...
for-
A little bit of a hair dye. Just dye his hair blonde. Why not? Just go for it.
I'm asking for a slightly edgier Spock, maybe with a top knot as well.
He can't be edgy, though. It's not... Spock isn't an edgy character.
I'm only joking regarding his appearance.
A lot of-
There's not a lot that he can do, really. 'cause
No.
his character is to be like just like the unemotional logic man. I
Yeah.
get that.
Robot.
I
Robot
am
Spock.
a robot. But somehow, look, this is like what I call bullshit on this, right? How does he pull like the fittest woman in the universe that we see? Like Uhura. Uhura. Like, there's no way she'd be interested in him. She's quite dynamic. She's zazzy. I
How
can
would
see
you
that.
know? Have you travelled to the future? Maybe men like him are attractive.
Not when you got people like Chris Pine, like dashing around, being like
Yeah, but didn't-
charismatic.
Didn't he, like, piss her off? I thought in the first film she was supposed to be all, like, uptight and logical.
I can't really remember the first one. It was
She's
a while
supposed to
ago.
be all, like, uptight, managerial, preppy woman.
Very much about the professionalism. She'll
And
clock
he's
in at
like-
9, she'll clock out at 5.
What about, what's the name of the white girl with all the black over her face?
I can't remember the character's name, but she was like, we'll refer to her as Alien Bitch Or
Yeah, because Scotty
assisting alien.
Scotty or Simon's Pegg character just called her Lassie all film, so I totally forgot what her Jada.
Jada.
Jada, I
That sounds
think it
right.
was Jada, and she was great. She was amazing. All her fight scenes were really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was decent.
Played the female protagonist very well.
I mean,
She carried the film in parts.
yeah, she did. I feel like, I mean, Chris Pine as Kirk, he was pretty much, he did the same thing he's done the whole way through. Just like odd bits of self-doubt mixed with like reckless abandon. And I mean, he's good at that. That seems to be like his forte, but it's nothing like that really shone out to me in any
Yeah,
way.
he's all right. The bit I didn't like about it was they kept going. It was in the last film as well. They basically sort of stop chasing your father's coattails. Be your own person. But every time he tries to be his own person, he just does what his dad would do anyway. I don't really quite understand why he doesn't understand what he's supposed to do when he's had the same theme reoccurring for like 3 films now.
It's a bit like the Magneto thing again.
In like
isn't
the
it,
first film and the
Same
second
thing
film, he was
over and
like,
over again.
"How can I be my dad without being my dad?"
It turns out he can't. He has to be like 4.
If you're going to do the exact same job as your dad, you're going to have to do exactly what your dad did.
Maybe he should be working in the post office or in a fast food
Do
restaurant.
they have post in space?
I guess not. I guess maybe has that become obsolete?
Probably.
What about Amazon? I guess if you can just beam stuff anywhere.
Yeah. So when the other thing I liked about the film was the fact that you didn't know what was going on, what anyone's intentions were until like the second act, sort of. You just know that they got attacked, they crash landed on a planet, and then they spend quite a while trying to find out what exactly is going on.
Yeah, that all sort of builds up to Elba's weird thing. But before we get to that, I would like to mention that one of the things I did like, because I didn't like that many things, was when they first come across their enemy, it would appear to be one big giant ship, but it turned out it was lots of little ships. And I
Yeah.
found that quite interesting because it made them seem like they were like an undefeatable
Like a swarm.
swarm because they couldn't really target them because they were too small and they were just getting wham.
Yeah, I like that. I like the destructive nature of it because they were just going into the engines basically, so they're dead.
They're so dead.
They're so dead.
It's like that sort of kamikaze hive mind sort of thing going on.
Yeah. That was great. That looked good. That space battle looked good.
Yeah,
I've got to say, this film looks amazing.
I think there's a couple of effects that look a bit hokey, but for the most part, it is a nice looking film.
The main part that the villain's trying to blow up in the end is called Yorktown, and it's like this big, massive bubble with like thousands and like millions of people in it.
It's a bit like Inception style, isn't it? Because stuff's a bit
Yes.
wonky, sort of.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how they
it's
work
basically
out gravity.
built
though.
around a sort of sphere, but it looks brilliant. It just looks amazing. I think there's a clip on YouTube someone put up a while ago saying just this scene in Star Trek looks really good.
Really good.
So good.
But whose accent was worse out of Scotty's and Chekhov's?
Scotty, seeing as Chekhov is from Eastern Europe.
Chekhov, I don't get to it, Captain. That was bad. I'll have to try that again. Fuck's sake.
By the way, I'm not interjecting just because I love hearing these little awkward moments where he fucks up. Do it again.
Captain. Oh, no, I still ain't got it.
Captain.
I'm not hearing it right. Captain, we've lost power, Captain. No.
Is he from South Africa?
Hey, Captain. Hey, Chappie.
It's just stop.
Chappie. But
He was alright. He didn't have that much of a role in the film.
he just sort of looks concerned all the time.
Yeah,
doesn't
he does.
That's sort
Yeah,
of his role.
He's
always panicking. Yeah, there's Captain there.
The best thing about this film is he sort of separates with Scotty when they land on the planet. Jada and not Scotty.
Milton.
Kirk.
Kevin.
Him and Kirk. Sorry.
Steve.
Anton Yelchin and Kirk sort of separate. Scotty and Jada separate because he crash lands and she sort of saves him from thugs.
Yeah, there's some weird looking alien people.
And
Isn't there?
then
Some Doctor Who looking motherfuckers.
and then you got Bones and Spock together, but then you've also got Uhura and who's the Asian guy? What's his name?
John Cho, who is, I want to say,
We do our research.
I don't want to say his name in case I get it wrong and sound mean, but
Anyway,
Kim. Let's go with Kim.
anyway, Uhura and Kim are sort of they get captured.
His name is definitely not
And
Kim.
they're in a prison camp basically trying to save the prisoners and not get beaten up while sending distress beacon out to the Enterprise. So anyway, so they're all sort of on this planet, all separated, sort of doing their team stuff, and I quite like the dynamic there because their characters came out a little bit. You got to see like Kirk and Yelchin doing their sort of thing, and Scotty doing his sort of like fixing stuff thing. I didn't like the fact that he gets taken aboard Jada's like house, she keeps calling it, but it turned out to be an old spaceship. And she sort of starts playing them like Fight the Power, is it?
Sulu, that's his name.
Sulu. She starts playing.
Sulu.
She starts playing like Fight the Power, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, I think she's playing Public Enemy. Yes.
Public Enemy, yeah.
That's right.
And it's I
Fight
thought
the
that
power.
That was a bit forced in. And there's a couple of jokes later on. We're like, is this classical music? I'm like, oh god.
It's because they're in the future, don't you
I know,
understand?
I get it,
And
because
it's like,
they're in the future, but it's just that was a bit shit.
that was a bit shit. Talking of things that were shit, right? This was my main gripe, or bugbear, as they say in Western civilization. The weak-ass villain, Idris Elba.
Yep.
Idris Elba
I
is
don't see why
talking
they-
in weird voice no one understands for
I
no
don't-
reason.
I don't see why they bothered using Idris Elba at all in this film.
It was utterly pointless. You got
Idris
none
Elba
of him, did you?
is the villain, yet he wears like an alien face mask and talks in a different accent. There's two things about Idris Elba. He's got a really good English London accent, and he looks good.
He's a distinctive man, isn't he? He's a large, handsome gentleman.
You take those two things away, and he could have been played by anyone. But he's got the weird soul-sucking ability. He can suck the life out of people.
He sucked the soul out of me with his shit voice.
But yeah, it was shit.
Idris Elba cannot
But
talk
it
anymore.
sort of it gets more and more human as he sucks more life in. But even at the end act, he still doesn't look like Idris Elba at all.
He looks a bit like a sort of like Resident Evil version
Yeah,
of himself,
it
doesn't he?
could've-
You know, where he looks a bit grubby and that.
It could have been played by anyone. It didn't have to be Idris Elba. It could have been played by a random stunt person. It's
Didn't you think like his whole character thing was a bit like, it's like, oh, he's a
little
guy who's from the past, who's now,
So
he
he's-
knows everything about him.
he crashed a ship. He gets attacked by an alien thing on a planet. Feels like he's been abandoned by the Enterprise, USS, whatever.
Back in the USSR.
And just sort of turns into this monster thing that hates the Enterprise.
It's just, he's mad about the Federation.
Federation, that's it.
He
He's
thinks
mad
they're a
about the
piece of
Federation,
shit
yeah.
and that. And he basically wants to destroy most of their civilization and use his knowledge, etc., etc. He's got are these like drones robots or are they aliens as well? They look more like
I think they're
robots.
aliens.
Robot aliens. But
They're
yeah,
like-
just
yeah.
I don't know. I really like good villains at the minute, and it's just so like,
Yeah, it's
especially
annoying.
I thought like I'm gonna be honest. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was pretty good as Khan or whatever his
I
name
was,
is in
I
the
was
last.
just about to say it's pretty crap. They've ruined Khan in this universe because he should be a recurring villain. He should come back every now and then with like a new threat, but he just doesn't.
Yeah, they've sort of just put him in a cooler box, haven't they? Really? But,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So let me have a little. What other notes did I wrote?
But
I wrote no way Spock pulls that bird. Yeah. At some point, there was a croaky voiced old lady. You know that one that was talking to him about getting a job as like a commissioner or something.
oh yeah,
She
yeah,
had
yeah,
such
yeah,
a croaky
yeah, yeah.
voice. And that just stuck out in my mind. For
I
some
didn't
reason.
even notice that. To be fair, I totally forgot about her. She's at the beginning and at the end.
I found it really distracting. She sounded like one of those people who's like, I've got one of those things because I smoke too much.
They did that sort of classic thing though, where at the beginning they're like, "Oh, you don't want to be part of the Enterprise anymore. Neither does Spock. He doesn't want to be part of the Enterprise anymore." And then just at the end, to wrap it all up cleanly, it's like, "Actually, I really enjoyed this mission, so I'm going to stay with the USS
This
Enterprise."
is exactly what I
What a
needed to
shock. What a
re-inspire
shock.
me.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And Spock was thinking about leaving as well.
Yeah, that pissed me off. It's just it's so obvious that they're not going to leave. Like, okay, have Spock leave for a film. Have Spock off doing his own thing. Cut to him every now and then doing his own thing, and then make him come back on the USS Enterprise.
I can imagine he'd be a whittler, like making something out of wood.
It's not
Maybe a
it's
small
just-
horse.
It's just it annoys me. It really does. But the best. So after they've all been captured, they fix the ship, they beam all the prisoners back on board, and that's when they figure out that Idris Elba's got this planet-destroying technology, and he's going to go and fire it at Yorktown.
It's going to like melt everybody, isn't it? It's
Gonna
going to put it
melt
into the
everyone.
aircon system.
Just
That
gonna,
classic
the
chestnut.
aircon, because that's how you get us. That's how you get us.
With our,
The aircon system.
with our Western technologies.
with our need for oxygen. Oh, we need that oxygen. We need it bad.
If only there was something I could do to use it against them. Oh,
But yeah,
There
so,
is.
Yeah, he attacks, and the third act is them stopping him attacking.
is it ever
essentially.
explained how he has this soul-sucking ability?
No.
I didn't think it was.
Or
was it?
it is, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the main components.
He
of this
kind of
film-
said when he crash landed, there's 3 people left, and he said that there was something they left behind advanced technology on the planet, and there was something else on the planet, but he doesn't exactly say what it was, or he does, and we're wrong. Tweet us.
That sounds delightfully vague and useful for the
Yep.
sake of the plot.
I became a villain because of something.
There was a reason, but I'm not going to really tell you it until the end. So my whole motivation seemed contrived and a bit pointless. But yeah, I just found it all a bit dull.
He does the classic, and spoilers here. He does the classic
Spoilers!
Villain turn hero at the end, because Kirk somehow managed to convince him that there's still a little bit of human.
No,
left
but doesn't he
inside
try and
of you.
stab Kirk though? You think he's going to turn,
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
got the thing in his
yeah,
hand, and you
yeah,
think,
yeah,
he's going to help him
He's
open the
gonna help
lock.
him. No. Yeah.
And then he goes for the classic stab in the back.
He's still, but there is that bit where the glass goes past him and he sees himself, and he's had a moment of self-inflection.
Yeah, he maybe realises what a monster has become, but then
Yeah.
he goes on to bat, and then it so deserves to get sucked into space and
Yeah.
melted. The fucking dirty bastard.
And Captain Kirk saves the day again. Star Trekking across the universe.
How corny did you think it was though when they got out that picture of all the old bastards at the end?
Oh, yeah. that
How
was
fucking
proper-
needlessly
No, I thought it was-
corny and stupid.
I thought it was a decent shot back. I thought it was a decent.
Yeah, but they don't need to do that. There's enough Star Trek fans. And what didn't they use the Beastie Boys song again? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Sabotage, but I didn't think there was any sound in space either.
Well, there is when you've got an oxygen and pressurized atmosphere, which Yorktown did have.
No, but they were playing the music outside, weren't they, to disperse the...
No, they weren't. They were playing it inside the helmets of the astronauts flying the
so
the things.
because
the
they
thing was,
misrepresented then.
if
'Cause they
they-
made it look like they were playing it out.
No, if they play the it turned out.
Bluetooth.
So to get rid of the swarm that was about to attack Yorktown, they played a high frequency noise through all the headsets of all the aliens. But what did they use? Oh, they used a speaker system they used earlier when she was playing Public Enemy.
Oh, that makes
Oh,
sense.
and guess what song they play? Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Oh, I like this. And like they're all nodding in the copy. Oh, this is a good song. As they watch millions of aliens die. No, that's not sound. That's because there's so many of them. They're all blowing up one at a time, sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a bit crap. I didn't like that bit. I didn't like how they
If you're
figured
going to
out.
commit a genocidal act of war, you might as well do it to the sound of the Beastie Boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say that. I think I quoted that before.
I think, wasn't it Nietzsche who said that?
Maybe.
But yeah,
Maybe. The crazy Nazi war bastard.
have you
Anyway.
got any more thoughts on this film? Because I can't really. I think I've
Oh yeah,
exhausted my notes.
Simon Pegg. The best thing about this film is that we finally got to know the characters well enough that they can now go off on their own, and we can still enjoy them. I felt there was a lot of character development in this film. You sort of got to see the characters being, especially in the Bone Spock bits. They were really funny together. They were a funny little duo team. I want to see more from that in the future. Simon Pegg did most of the writing, and I think he did a very good job of it.
Yeah.
Even though you don't rate your Scottish accent.
Nah, it's terrible.
I think, I really think some of the writing in this film's good, and the visuals are pretty good. I rate it as probably second best one of the series. Now I think about it,
But we won't get into what's our favourite because that actually crosses over to one of our free Q&A questions. So we won't say quite yet. But yeah, I thought this film, visually it looked fine. Some of the characters were okay. I mean, I enjoyed Carl Urban as Bones the most. But they're just characters that I've seen do this sort of thing quite a few times before. So as much as it was kind of enjoyable, I never really was that excited by it.
I like Jada.
I found it quite dull, so I'd only give it like a 6 out of 10.
Wow, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I think it's one of the best films this year.
I still like, but I'm just feeling quite damning right now. I
Yeah,
must
you
admit.
are. You feel like a bit of a twat. You're a
Look,
bit of a cunt, don't you? You're a bit of a cunt, aren't you, today?
We're allowed to have differing opinions. This is
We are.
yeah.
We are.
I'm
It's funny
entitled.
how you always rate them lower than me, though.
I don't always. What was it? I rated higher than you. Goosebumps. I believe I rated higher than
No,
you.
yeah, probably.
John Wick. I rated higher than
Oh,
you.
yeah, I didn't enjoy John Wick. No, fair enough. You made your point.
There
You
is
made your point.
contrast in views, and so yeah, that was Star Trek Beyond. Are you ready to move on to the
I'm
thrilling
trying to-
Q&A
wait.
section?
Wait.
Wait, bear with him.
No, yeah, go for it.
He wasn't prepared. All right, this is Q&A. Q&A.
What does the Q stand for?
It stands for question,
What does
and answer.
and what does
answer,
the and
answer.
sign stand for?
Additionally, or plus, We'll start with the Facebook questions, of which there are 2. The first one was posted by a gentleman by the name of Liam Francis Fisher, and he said, how do you maintain that golden shine on your beard? So, Joe, why don't you answer this?
You know I don't have a beard. You know I can't grow a beard. Stop being a beardist just because you've got a marvellous ginger beard. But
He said it!
the way he keeps a shine on it is that he doesn't wash it and he strokes it all day.
I found that the best way to keep a rich glow is to dip it in the feces of the neighbourhood cat and then finish it off with some honey. And then I just I glaze that bad boy, I heat it over a candle, and I sort of brush it through.
Beard grooming advice.
Beard grooming.
Advice with Matthew Wright.
Grooming your beard. Don't cut it. People ask me how I got a beard so long. The answer is simple. You don't cut it. Question number 2. From the Q&A section. Jordan Phillips wrote, why am I such a... Oh, no, sorry, he didn't. No, he wrote, what are your guilty pleasure films? Open bracket. Non-X-rated, comma, you dirty bastards. Exclamation, close bracket. Like really bad film. He wrote film, not films. That you enjoy, even though you know it's bad. Do you want to have a go at this one? Really bad film that you
kind of
enjoy?
thought about this earlier. I quite enjoy the Transformers films.
Yeah, well, the first one isn't.
They're critically generally panned, but I quite like them.
What do you mean? Michael Bay and his special effects with the poof and the bwah and the explosion and a car that turns into a robot that turns into a car, and then a bird with big boobs. Ooh. Any particular Transformers films or just the franchise?
I like the first one was quite good with Shia LaBeouf in it.
I quite enjoyed the first
but then
one.
I quite like the one with Mark Wahlberg in it. I didn't think it was that bad.
I haven't seen that one yet. Hasn't it got a dinosaur
Yeah, that
Rex,
bit was
right?
bad. Now I think about it, it is a bad film, but I can watch it. It's one of them films like you can watch. Like, it's a guilty pleasure. It is a guilty pleasure.
Oh, yes, I guess it is. Mine would be Anaconda. The first one that comes to mind.
Not seen it.
You haven't seen the 1990s Anaconda, which has
No.
got J-Lo in it, Ice Cube,
No,
John Voight.
it sounds terrible.
It's so... I mean, there's a big rubber snake that turns sort of CGI.
What's-
It eats people systematically, but it's so hilarious. And it's one of those films that I've seen about a dozen times, even though it's quite terrible. So,
Doom.
yeah. Doom.
I love Doom. I
like
think it's an
is it
amazing
the
film. I
opening
watched it
scene,
like
which is
8
like first person.
No, that's
yeah.
the final scene. That's
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end. That's brilliant, that film. It's got The Rock in it. It's got Rosamund Pike in it.
I swear it doesn't even have that many monsters in it, really, does it? I don't know.
No, it has a few. But no, it doesn't. They
It's
don't
nothing
actually...
really like the game. at all.
No, they don't. Well, they kind of go into hell. But what else? There's probably a lot. John Carter. I quite like that.
I still haven't seen
That was
it yet.
panned, and it's actually quite a good film.
Panned.
Goes
I'll
on a
have to check
bit, but it's sort of like a superhero film, really.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. All right, let's go to our... Oh, no, wait. I've got the wrong thing up. Oh, shit. What have I done? All right, this is the only Twitter question of the evening, and it's from VIA VHS Movies and TV at VIV VHS. Yeah, that's it, yeah. What direction do you want to see Star Trek Discovery take? I think that might be the new TV series. Also, favourite film in rebooted Star Trek's universe so far? I can't really answer the first question.
Ooh. Second one, I quite like the one with Khan in it. Khan.
Well, a lot of people were like mad about the whole Khan thing, weren't they? But because I don't really have the Star Trek thingy, I was just like,
I never watched the original TV show, but I guess if I was to watch another TV show, or what would get me in, is just them sort of having adventures in space.
oh no, they're not going to do that.
Space
though.
battles and stuff. I don't really care about big like spaceships and stuff blowing. I just want them going to other planets and having wacky adventures.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know anything about that
It's
series.
the characters that made it, though. It's the characters that made it. It didn't matter what they were doing. In the original show, it was the characters that sort of made it for people.
And rubber lizard monsters. So
Yeah.
yeah. My favourite film of the series so far would probably be Into Darkness. That's probably my favourite,
second
followed
one,
by
isn't
the
it?
first one, yeah, and then this one, which I didn't really enjoy that much. Yeah, the first one was fine
What's
as
the
well.
first one?
That's the one where it's got Eric Banner, has got like a bald head and tribal tattoos.
Yeah, I didn't like that one that much.
But yeah, I think the second one's probably the strongest, in my opinion.
I'd
because-
go second, then this one, and then the first one. And a lot of people were saying that Star Trek Beyond is their favourite one of the 3 so far.
Yeah, I just thought it just didn't do it for me. I'm afraid it didn't get my didn't get me
Going. Didn't get your juices flowing.
I didn't get my juices flowing. No, not at all. So yeah,
What you
that's...
written on your hand? 10-year ball bag.
No, I wrote £10 for the bonus ball at work because I owe them £10.
Okay, are we done?
And that's it.
35 minutes? What's going on? What?
Just a couple of
Last
things.
minute question?
No, these aren't questions. It's
No?
just, I just wanted to give a couple of positive things that people have tweeted about us recently.
Ooh. Oh, thank you for all the listens, by the way. We're getting more and more listens every week. Keep it up.
Yeah, we're enjoying it. We're
Tell
enjoying
a friend. Tell your nan. She's lonely. She could do some voices in the house.
Yes. That aren't the insane ones telling her over and over again to go plummeting off the cliff. Go on, Mary, do it.
Oh,
Jump.
That went for such an innocent joke,
Jump.
then. And you went for so dark. What?
All
Go
you
on.
need to do is
Give
nip
me-
the artery and you'll bleed out with
Give
those
me-
thin old veins.
Give me some positive
All right.
feedback.
The Savages said, go follow and listen to a Beard on a Widow Talk Film podcast to hear hilarious/informative critique of great and not so great films in a sexy Essex accent. And there's another one as well. I can't find it. I'm so unprepared. Oh no, I've lost it. Where is it? And then Following Films Pod said, you guys have quite possibly the most non-pretentious film show I've ever heard. It's an easy listen. We need to up the pretension right now.
We do need to up the pretension.
What I think he was trying to say with Star Trek Beyond was this was his way of showing that there's both light and darkness in the universe, whilst also being a reference to Russian communism and Impressionism. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye-bye.
Follow us on Twitter.
At Captain Beard 93.
At Joe Gids.
Yeah!
Yay!
Well done, team! Yeah!